Okay, guys, quick disclaimer before we continue with like the stream. I kind of get emotional while talking about corpse, and I might seem like I'm overstepping my boundaries a bit when I talk about maybe personal shit. So please don't take it as like me talking for corpse. I would never want to do that. I just am an emotional person, and when I vent, I fucking go off. So don't take it as like anything odd. I'm just an emotional person, and yeah, I am a mess on this fucking stream. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this train wreck. Every time I like do a stream, I've been like going on and on about Corpse Husband at least one iteration, and I'm realizing that's not really flattering, especially to like people, because Corpse, it's like you either love him or you hate him or you're like neutral, and I feel like I don't want to be that streamer that just that stands like one person. I stand Corpse so hard, but you know, I'm trying. I'm trying to control this weird obsession. It's been happening since November, and I thought, what a good thing to like get things out of your system. Sometimes, at least with stuff like this, not like drugs or anything, but I don't even know he is like a drug. Anyway, going off content, going. Gosh, I'm going on a tangent here. I'm stalling. God damn it! What I'm trying to say is I need to get him out of my system in one stream so I don't talk about him too much on my other streams, if that makes any fucking sense. Probably doesn't. Plus, I want to draw. So, yeah. And we're going to draw a corpse. You know? I don't know what I'm going to draw. I might like, it might be a sketchy kind of thing. I might focus on one. Who knows? The pen will take me to it. Either way, hopefully we'll get through this. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, this is a corpse stream, but you're not playing corpse. Look, yo, drawing takes some time. And the last thing I want to do is play Corpse for 3 hours and have people tired of Corpse's music. I don't want to be tired of Corpse's music. Do you? That's the last thing I want for anybody. So we're actually going to be listening to some Pogo. I think, like, that was a mistake last time. Last time my stream just ended randomly, and I don't know why it ended randomly. Not sure. Either way, we're gonna get this out of our system, guys. We're gonna do it. We're gonna fucking do it. Get this shit out of our system. Very fun to draw. Anyway, sorry, I was concentrating too much. The whole point of this is to talk. Sorry. All right. So Corpse Husband. Lots of things like could have led me to him. I think I've talked about how I was actually into him before he blew up a bit. Like, I wasn't like obsessed with him. I didn't stan him back then because who would stan? People didn't normally stan like story writers. I don't hear people talking about like, oh my god, Mr. Nightmare. Oh my god, da 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 da. So it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, it wasn't normal to stan Corpse. I mean, I'm sure there were stans for Corpse back then. They were the smarter people, but it's one of those things. Anyway, Corpse. Guess I should start off with like how I got into like creepy shit. So, if you guys don't know, your girl is a I guess you'll call me a scene kid. I guess. I don't know. I just know like my emo friends didn't like it when I called myself an emo back then, because being an emo meant like you had some like real shit going on in your life back then. And I was like, okay, then what else can I be called? Because I wear emo shit, so like my style is very emo, so I wasn't sure what to call myself until like the term scene came up, and they were like, oh, you can be a scene kid. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Like I mean, I want to belong in a group. I don't know. It was like a rule. It was this bullshit rules that we made up back then because emos had like a real issue going on, and to be sensitive to those people back then, that was just how it was back then. Like, you didn't just randomly call yourself emo if you didn't actually have any problems. That just wasn't how it's done. It's not like now where it doesn't fucking matter like anymore. Like, you can have problems, you can. It's like you can dress however the fuck you want now, and I kind of like that mentality now. I just don't like how it like changes so much over the years. We went from like being punk to goth to skaters to, well, I guess skaters are their own thing. It's more like punk goth than actually, I would consider Bikers probably the first one because you had like those greasers. They were technically edgy back then. I don't know. All I know is emos came not that long after the goth era, and after they came and like disappeared for a bit. Like they were never gone, but they were like not as popular, if that makes any sense. What a lot to talk about in this stream to try to get this out of my system. Anyway, so yeah, it changes so much that I just prefer to call myself an edgy dork. I wear dark clothes once in a while. I wear dark clothes. I'm into edgy shit, but I'm also into stupid shit, and it's like I'm an edgy dork. You know, I'll take that because to me that's what I am. And yeah, I don't really go by the status quo anymore because the status quo is always going to change no matter what. People, I'm sure Corpse considered himself like an emo back then, but because you know he grew up during that time, I would say like he probably let me think. Corpse is 4 years younger than me, and the emo era was like the strongest during 2007. He was probably in elementary school at the time because that was like a huge age difference back then. I don't know. He might have been. He might have been wearing eyeliner in elementary school. I don't know. I won't judge him. So that's where the style thing comes in. I should just step into like my taste in like media. So I have always been kind of had a morbid interest in horror. That's just what I've always been into. This morbid like interest in it, and you know, it started off with like horror movies. It started off, and then it like eventually it kind of followed me to the internet. And one of the first, I guess I should talk about how I was into like dark Vocaloid songs. And if you guys don't know what Vocaloid is, you know that pink bitch that sang before Lady Gaga? Or not that pink bitch, that green bitch. The green bitch she sang before Lady Gaga that one time. And she was digital and it was creepy for some of you. Yeah, that's Miku Hatsune. And she is just the tip of the iceberg of a whole thing. It is so big, the Vocaloid fandom. Oh my god. I've been in the Vocaloid scene since like 2007, since I started becoming, since I was a scene kid actually. And you get the classics like Rolling Girl and all that shit, but then there's more. There's way fucking more. And I want to say, like, I remember I dabbled into like the creepy side of like the Vocaloid songs. Like, I'd say one of the first creepy songs most people get introduced to probably is Alice Human Sacrifice. I feel like that one is definitely first creepy Vocaloid song people get introduced to right off the bat. And then, you know, you get to like the Dark Circus. Then you get to like God, what was that? I remember this one that was super creepy that I liked. It sounded like shit, but I loved it. It was like a town with rainy balloons, or it was like I See Dead. It was like a weird Miku song where I See Dead people. And don't get me started like on Useless Child. All the songs are so good. But I'm getting off topic. So there was this one Vocaloid song I remember, sung by, I think it was sung by Kiko. It was either sung by Kiko or Luca first. I can't remember. But I remember it was called The Rugrat Theory. So, and I was like, what is this? I know what Rugrats is. Are they talking about the same Rugrats with like Tommy Pickles and all this? So I was like, okay, let me check this. Let me check this out. And I was. Yeah, I was like, let me check this shit out. And I did, and I was very fucking shocked because it was a good song. I liked the song, but I saw Angelica Pickles on there, and I was like, is this based off of the Rugrats? Like, the Rugrats, the babies that I used to watch when I was a kid. Like, the thing that was popular before SpongeBob was popular. The Rugrats? So I like was very, very curious about this because I was like, why is there a Vocaloid song about the fucking Rugrats on YouTube? So, like, because, you get curious if you grew up with that shit. Because I was very curious. I was like, what is this? And then, oh boy. That was my first introduction to a creepypasta. Yeah, boy. Vocaloid introduced me to creepypastas. Who would have thunk? Yeah, so, it's actually a really good Vocaloid song. I highly recommend it. So, when I first saw that, when I first saw that, vocal, saw that theory, at first I fucking hated it because I was like, oh my god, I hate this. It's making me question everything. It's making me not feel good things, because if you guys know of the theory, it's a very dark, dank theory, like based off of like, oh my god, it's all an illusion, oh my god. But, you know, it was my first introduction to creepypastas though. And, you know, people said it was a creepypasta, and I was like, I don't like this. I hate creepypastas. But then I have a morbid curiosity. This is usually how it works. I usually, like, if something, like, weirds me out at first, I can't help but, like, go to look back, and then I become obsessed with it. I'm like, okay, I like this. I actually fuck with this hard. So, yeah, that's how that fucking happened. My other introduction, I think, was like the cul-de-sac. It was an Ed and Eddie theory, and then you had the Russian sleep experiment. And I guess I should mention the most famous one that you get introduced to at first if you're like perusing for creepypastas, and that's Jeff the fucking killer. That fucker. I don't know why girls were obsessed with Jeff the Killer. Like, why? Why did we like Jeff the Killer? Not me, personally. I liked his story and his style, but I never, like, thought, yeah, this does it for me. This itches that weird scratch of mine. I want to be fucked by a guy who has, like, barely any flesh on his face and a cut-up face looking like a $2 version of the Joker. That's totally what does it for me. Like, people were freaks back then for when the creepypasta was huge. Like, people wanted to get fucked by Slender Man. People wanted to get fucked by fucking Ben from Ben is Drowned. People wanted to get fucked by Jeff the Killer. Oh my god, people wanted to marry Jeff the Killer. I was like, dude, if this guy was real, you'd be dead. Like, it's that weird mentality people have for, like, serial killers, you know? It's like, if they like look good or are young, like say in their teens or early 20s, it's like ooh yeah, I fuck with him. And I'm like, do you fuck with him? Because I remember, do you guys remember, like, was it the Rake? Did anyone like want to fuck the Rake? He was like the scrangly thing with like big nails and shit. Did that do it for you? Did you want to get fingered by his shit? No, you did it? Okay then. That's kind of fucking weird then. It's like, I don't know. People were freaks for back then. Sorry, I had a rant about that before I continued. Anyway, so when I was into creepypastas, I liked the stories that didn't really have caricatures, like the Russian sleep experiment. There was this one, I can't remember the name, where they would like go into this house, and it was like they go into this house and the room, like, it was like a challenge. Like, every time you like went deep, you're like trying to win money, and every time you went deeper into the house, like, the harder the challenges and the more you like lose your mind psychologically. Like, the first one like was Halloween tricks, second one was like real like bugs, third was like a jungle, and three was like darkness and like voices in your head. Like, it just got deeper and deeper psychologically. I fucked so hard with that one. I wish I remembered the name of it though. Anyway, so after I found these creepypasta stories, I wanted to like listen to more, and I didn't know how to find them, because creepypastas, you can find them anywhere. Like, you can like you could have gone on the wiki, but to me, I didn't really trust the wiki, because I also ran into some shitty creepypastas. I think all of us remember Squidward's suicide and how much of a meme that shit was. but yeah, I just did not care for that. So I wanted to like actually, and this is how I got into like the story time people to read me creepypastas. I think there was like Mr. Creepypasta, and then there was this other guy. I can't remember his name though. All I remember is Mr. Creepypasta because his was the easiest to remember. But yeah, he would, I think he was like a monster or some shit like that. Anyway, he would read these stories to us, and it was really cool. I think one of the weirdest ones that was scary but stupid at the same time, I think was the one about like going to an abandoned like Disneyland resort and finding like a Mickey Mouse mascot living there. Now that I think about it, that story was kind of funny. Like, just some random monster looking like Mickey Mouse. That'd be the fucking worst way to go. I got, oh, you're in heaven. How do you, like, say you like actually go to purgatory or some shit, and you actually talk to like people who die, and they ask you, hey, how do you die? Oh yeah, I decided to go to this abandoned Disney place because whatever, and I found this like Mickey Mouse like monster, and he killed me. You'd be ridiculed for life, like for the rest of purgatory. That would be your hell. That would be your hell, being ridiculed for dying by a fucking monster mascot. Oh god. Anyways, moving on. So I got more into like that scene, and eventually, when you get into like one storytime YouTuber, you start getting into like more storytime YouTubers. It kind of leads into like another hole because it's the algorithm. It shows like your interest in that. But and I think Corpse read some like simple stuff back then. It was based off of real stuff, I'm sure, but his stories weren't like based off of actual creepypastas. So I didn't like get to him quite yet. I did see a couple of his older stuff back then, but it wasn't like, ooh, it was like, cool, this guy sounds cool, his name is interesting, and that was it back then. But I don't think he read creepypastas back then. I think he read like stuff based off of real stuff back then. But I probably thought they were creepypastas, knowing my dumb brain, because everyone was obsessed with it back then. It was like a huge era of people obsessed with creepypastas. The 210s were fucking insane. Like, so anyway, as time went on, creepypastas were kind of like not as good anymore, and but I still missed like hearing the stories, because it was relaxing hearing like these horror stories, and I was sad that there wasn't as much creepypastas anymore because people were losing like a creative edge. Because think about it, you had like 10 different Jeff the Killers like online, and 50 fucking Slendermans, and people were just copying each other at that point. So that's when creepypastas kind of started losing its spark, when people were just copying each other, doing the same thing. I mean, once in a while you got an original thing here and there, but it was very rare if it happened, and not a lot of people give it attention because it was slowly falling out. So people who were edgy bitches like me wanted to see more stuff. And sorry guys, okay. So going back, all of us edgy bitches had an itch that we wanted to scratch, and we wanted more stories. So that's when like I think people like Mr. Nightmare and Corpse Husband, they started blowing up in the storytime scene, because creepypastas lost its edge. So people like Mr. Creepypasta stuff started losing their audience because there wasn't that many creepypasta stories anymore, at least not many good ones, or they weren't as popular because the fandom was mostly gone. It was mostly dead. And a lot of people still wanted to hear the stories. So I feel like Mr. Nightmare and Corpse Husband were very smart when they decided to do stuff based off of real events. And then so they started making stories based off of like allegedly true stories by fans, or allegedly true stories by this. But that wasn't what drove me to Corpse Husband back then. No, because there was something that was going to be discovered that the edgy bitches would eat up. And that was the discovery, discovery, but the public was more aware of it at this point because most of the public didn't really know about it. It was always a thing, and if you were a hacker or if you actually knew everything about the internet, you would know about it. But if you didn't, if you were just someone who was fine on the surface web, you wouldn't even think to look there. And that was the deep web. The deep web slowly started making its way into being discovered by most of the public. And because of that, people were freaked out by it because they found out like pedophiles get on there, murderers get on there, there's red rooms or whatever. That like those are the things that are said to be on there, which I'm sure they are, but they're like, it's super hard to like get into them. Like, you'd think that a murderer would just let their fucking red room stream be open to the public? No. They would make sure that shit was locked out. Anyway, what I'm basically saying is the deep web was a huge scary place, and people like me, had a morbid curiosity for things that were big and scary. So, people like Mr. Nightmare and Corpse Husband hopped on that shit and started making stories about the deep web and like alleged stories about the deep web. So I think like one of my favorites was definitely from Corpse Husband was definitely like why I stopped hacking on the deep web. That was always a good one to go back to. Or I think I mentioned this one before on my past streams. My favorite one being the day I hired an assassin on myself. That one's such a good one. I would go back and listen to that story every Halloween. It's so good. It's about this guy who is tired of life. He's like just tired of living the mundane lifestyle. So he basically hires an assassin on himself, and it's like a game of cat and mouse, and it's such a good. Oh, it's so good. I love it. And, like, the deeper it goes, like, the more it, like, opens up. And it's, like, so fucking cool. I really love it. And I would love to see a book written about it. If he's still alive. It's based off of true events, so he might be dead now. But who knows? If it isn't, then, God, I would love a story on it. And I would pay Corpse Husband to do an audiobook on it. Have it be, like, his one big last hurrah to his past of the scary story side. So to me, it's like Corpse Husband. I was only there for the content. I would watch his stuff, like I would watch Mr. Nightmare stuff. I'll be honest, I went to Mr. Nightmare a little bit more because Mr. Nightmare had more of a solid upload schedule than Corpse Husband did. But Corpse Husband explains why his upload schedule was so hectic back then. And if you are curious, you can just watch it. And not give these news outlet your views who keep like scrapping up old parts of it. Like, this stuff has been on the internet for years. It's no new news to anyone who actually watched those streams. So, if you actually want to know about that point of his life, you can always go back and watch those streams. Anyway, so I honestly didn't really think much of Corpse Husband back then. I just thought, oh, he just reads Scary Time YouTuber. He's just a scary YouTuber who reads the stories. In fact, I used to think he was like this old guy who was married and he just did this for fun. That's how I saw him back then. I didn't think I was 4 years older than him. I didn't think that we were like, we could have gone to like the same high school at one point because I got held back then. So. And he also quit, so maybe that wouldn't be possible. Either way, elementary school, we could have gone to the same elementary school back then. Which is crazy. It really is. Just thinking about it. Because I really used to think Corpse Husband was just this old dude who would read, like, these stories to us millennials back then. But no. He was a young lad who just sounded old. Anyways. So, over time, Corpse kind of, like, disappeared from my notice. Like, I would see maybe his like, stories here and there. I would go back to them once in a while. And then, I remember I did remember seeing him again in the Anthony interview, because I actually followed Anthony right after he like left Smosh. I followed his followed his thing immediately, and I was curious to what he was gonna do, and eventually I saw him like doing these interview type things, and the faceless YouTuber one like interests me. When I saw Corpse Husband on there, I was like, oh my gosh, is Corpse Husband gonna show himself? Because I remember Corpse Husband being anonymous back then. Because most storytime YouTubers were anonymous. It was nothing new. Like, I love how people act like, oh my gosh, why is Corpse so anonymous? Meh, meh, meh. And it was like, it made sense back then, because most storytime YouTubers back then were anonymous, because they don't want to show their face to. Because if you give a scary voice a face, it's not that scary anymore, you know? It kind of like takes off the mystery of the voice. Corpse Husband does it now because he has high anxiety, I'm sure, and, you know, he likes to live his private lifestyle, but yeah, it's definitely one of those things where, you know, it was a normal thing back then for storytime YouTubers. Storytime YouTubers never showed their faces, so they can be immersive and live their life. But you know, it's just one of those things. Because I don't see anyone else giving like Mr. Nightmare shit for not showing his face. In fact, I'm sure they prefer he doesn't show his face, because it would ruin the ska. Anyway, so when the interview happened, I was like, oh my gosh, I love the way he dresses, and oh my gosh, he actually is kind of funny. Oh my, ha ha ha. And that was where I ended it, because I was like, yeah, that was cool. I got to know the scary guy a bit. No, okay, so I'm being completely honest. I could have bullshitted and said, oh, I've always loved Corpse Husband ever since I heard him for the first time. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? Why would I give that bullshit? Like, it would be a lie. It would be a very obvious lie. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't care for Corpse Husband that much back then because of his upload schedule, because I only cared about him for the content back then and not really for that. But then, oh boy, Among Us became a thing. Among Us became a huge thing, and I just... And I didn't even know about it, you know. I just heard it in my job. Like, have you heard of Among Us? I was like, Among Us? What is that? And, you know, and I actually really liked the game Among Us. And I watched the playthroughs through Jack, Markiplier, and PewDiePie, because I think those are like the only gamers I really watch these days. Or I watched back then, you know? Alrighty. Sorry, I was getting concentrated on this. So, as time went on, I noticed Corpse in, like, the PewDiePie lobby, and I was like, huh, is that Corpse Husband? And it turned out to be Corpse Husband. I was like, what is he doing on a PewDiePie Among Us? I was, like, confused. I was, like, legit flabbergasted. I was like, I'm sorry, wait, what? Like, I was confused by this, and then eventually he started, like, appearing more, and he actually had a new video, and I was like, what is going on? Since when has Corpse Husband played games? And I was, like, so confused by this, because I only have known him for, like, being, reading, like, horror stories back then. So I was, like, legit confused, and I, like, dove deeper, and I was like, what the hell? And eventually, like, I found his stuff, I found his music, and I found, like, more of his things back then, and because the thing that, like, it just got bad, it got really bad, because the reason it got bad was I got to know his personality, and I found out he's actually a huge nerd. So the first thing that I noticed about him was because the first song I ever listened to was actually Miss You. And oh my fucking god, he used Fire Force in the music video. you guys have no idea. I'm actually a huge Fire Force fan. I actually read the manga before I watched the anime. I fuck so hard with Fire Force. Like, so fucking hard. You have no idea. Like, Maki's best girl. Just saying. Maki, best girl. We love a girl with muscle. I also love, is it Hibana? Hibana. I'm gonna be pissed off if I don't remember here. Okay, I was right. Hibana. I know my waifus. Don't judge me. I know my fucking waifus. Of course I do. Oh, Hibana. She can step on me all day. Anyway, yeah, Hibana. I was like, I'm super obsessed with Fire Force. So when I saw that Corpse Husband use fucking Fire Force in a music video, I was like, is this man a weeb? Is this man a weeb? This creepy man, is he a weeb? So I dug deeper and oh, holy fuck, he's a weeb. Like, holy shit. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting him to be a fucking weeb because, you know, I don't know. It's like I would say most people in the emo and e community were into anime, but not always. Some of them were just into like certain things. But not only is he into fucking, is he good at video games, he's also a weeb, and he also has his fucking sense of humor is amazing. Like, I think I fell in love. The day I fell in love with Corpse was the day he smashed a cup onto his fucking floor and he had a knife fight with fucking tinfoil. You guys remember that? The knife fight with tinfoil? Fucking shanked that tinfoil up. Oh, God.
You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song.
Like, I was legit magnetized by his presence. I've never in my life, like, have fallen this hard for a human. Like, I had crushes on Anthony. I've had crushes on Dan, you know, from, you know, Dan and Phil. But, you know, I've had those crushes, and I've definitely liked looking at Johnny Depp and Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, and stuff like that. That probably showed my fucking age right there. But, and I've had husbandos, I've had waifus and shit. Like Angelina Jolie. Oof, that woman can step on me. But, yeah, you know, it's like, it's just one of those things where it's like, but yeah, Corpse was ruining my fucking life at that point. Like, he still is. Like, for God's sake, I'm making a stream about him, drawing him, talking about my obsession. He has ruined my life! You've ruined my life, fucker. I hope you know that. Fuck. Anyway, I guess we can talk about more of the serious stuff. I'll say like the shit. How, yeah, but I know, I'm not clueless. I know, like I hate that. Like, I have feelings for someone I don't know in person. Because to me, it's like, I never get like this. I've never gotten like this for someone before. And it's weird. And I don't like it. Because it's like, I know this would be fucking weird it'd be weird if we met. And I'm not saying we would ever meet. I'm just saying it would be weird. And it's freaking me out. Because this is freaking me out. Because I am almost in my 30s and I'm freaking out because it's like I've never had this before. Because, you know, people had Justin Bieber, I guess. People had, like, that stuff. But here's the thing. I didn't listen to that shit back then. I didn't listen to, like, Justin Bieber. I wasn't obsessed with NSYNC back then. I wasn't obsessed with One Direction back then. I listened to My Chemical Romance. I was part of the Black Parade. I listened to 3 Days Grace, Pain Without Love, Riot, Animal. Like, I listened to fucking Green Day, Wake me up when September ends, that shit. And you don't really get pseudo obsessed with those kind of bands. You really don't. Or Blink 182, I Miss You, or What's My Fucking Age Again. If that's not my song, I don't know what is. That was the kind of shit I listened to. And then you had like Vocaloids and like Japanese stuff, and I guess the closest thing I was obsessed with was probably from Antic Cafe. They were an old Japanese band, J-rock band, and I listened to and I was obsessed with their bass player Kanan. He was very, very hot, very, very hot. Like I had a huge crush on Kanan back then, but I wasn't like trying to. I didn't draw him. I didn't like think about him all the time like I do with Corpse Husband. It's fucking weird. I don't like this. It's fucking weird what I'm doing. This is fucking weird, and I hate it. I hate myself for it. I hate being weird. Like I'm already weird enough without this, and it makes me not feel good about myself because it's like he's had such an effect on my life, Corpse, because well, I used to be like, I guess I can be honest. I still am, but I was a lot heavier. I want to say around November, I was 200 and, I want to say 260 pounds. And I am now 200 pounds. I have lost 60 pounds since November. I am almost out of the 200s, and I'm getting close to going back down to the 100s and being in a average weight class again. I haven't been in this good of shape since, I want to say, God, how long has it been since I've been in shape? Probably since my elementary school days. Even then, I was still kind of pushing it back then. I mean, I got in shape back then, but, I was still heavy. I am thinner than I was in high school, which makes me feel good. Funny thing, people say I don't look my weight, which I find odd. I guess my weight goes into like good places, but yeah. So what does Corpse Husband have to do with me losing weight? Well, when he told me his story about how he used to not be able to move out of his bed, and I hear stories about how he used to like keep himself in shape because he was unhealthy, but even then he still struggled, and he's still struggling, and yet he still takes care of himself some way. He eats the right food, he exercises when he needs to. I mean, I'm sure he's not able to do it now with his condition, but back then he was able to like do all this stuff, and I was like, wow, this guy like is struggling with health problems, and here I am just sitting around eating food to comfort myself. So I thought, you know what? I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of being like this when someone like Corpse Husband can be in shape, and even despite all the things happening to him, So I don't know. I guess I just so thanks to him, I have lost so much weight, and I think about it. I think about like, wow, I think I would not be here if I didn't like look up to Corpse Husband and think, wow, he's such an inspiration, and I really care for him. And I wish that people would lay off of him when he talks down about himself, or because you got to understand, when someone has anxiety and low self-esteem, that shit doesn't go away. It never goes away. Because I see, so Twitter, Bird app. Twitter is such a toxic place. Let's not lie. So whenever Corpse talks down about himself, the first thing his fans response with is like hitting Corpse, like, oh my god, we love you. It's so obvious we love you. Why don't you get that? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, chill. Corpse doesn't, you gotta understand, when you hate yourself, I don't think people understand who have never dealt with this kind of shit. When you hate yourself, you fucking hate yourself. You don't want you don't ever believe in your self-worth. You will always hate yourself if you have that feeling deep in your heart. I fucking hate myself. To this day, I hate myself. And it's never gonna go away. I don't hate myself enough to like self-harm anymore, thank God. I don't hate myself enough to do unhealthy shit that I did to try to lose weight in the past. I guess I can come out with it. When I was younger, I used to be bulimic, you know? And it was very hard because it's like I hated the way I looked. I hated looking in the mirror. I still hate looking in the mirror. To this day, I look at my body and I can't help but look at all the parts I fucking hate about my body. That's all I can think about is like things that I don't like about myself, not things that I've done to improve myself, the lifestyles I've changed. I don't eat sugar anymore. Like, I don't eat. I'm a pescatarian now. I don't eat fast food anymore. I don't eat like I don't eat gosh, I can't concentrate. I'm like getting emotional. This is gonna look bad. I'm sorry, Corpse. This is mediocre. Mediocre art with it becomes kind of like, what do you do to like get yourself out of that mindset? How do you tell yourself that you're worth something? You don't. You really don't, because deep down inside, you'll always not love yourself completely. That's why you need to surround yourself with compassionate people. That's why when people say, oh, Corpse should just play games by himself, we would watch. Yes, but do you notice how he kind of latches on to people? Like, he latches on to his friends and to people because he feels like it sinks in if he plays a game on his own. If that makes any sense. Because I remember, I don't know, because Tina was there for emotional support during the Resident Evil stream, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. And people were like, why is Tina there? What is Corpse need Tina for? And it's like, you don't get it. Like, she's probably there to help him keep outside of his own head. Because you notice during the stream, he says, oh, I'm hyperventilating, I'm doing all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, because he has anxiety. Anxiety does not go away, and he has severe anxiety. Like, it's a severe case of anxiety. And he doesn't have anyone close in real life either, guys. You also got to remember this. People in his real life are not around. Like, sure, he can visit, like, Saikuno once in a while. Like, he went to visit the Saikuno, and I'm sure if he really wanted to, he can, like, go visit, like, some places once in a while, once in a blue moon. But you gotta understand, though, that he does not live in the real world. He is agoraphobic. He's scared of going out in public, especially now that his voice is more well known. If he's out in public, he doesn't talk. You know? And I think Corpse should learn sign language, actually. Corpse, you should learn sign language! Oh gosh! Learn sign language, Corpse, so you don't have to talk anymore. That would be perfect for you. Oh, and your hands! Your hands are perfect for it! Yes! Do that, Corpse. Learn sign language so you don't have to talk anymore. Oh, that would be perfect for you, Corpse. I know not everyone knows sign language, but you should totally learn sign language so you don't have to talk anymore. If you get lucky, you'll find someone who also knows sign language. I'm sure the first thing you'll learn is I want to die or I have a mental illness. But yeah, Corpse, he's got some demons. And I think people, especially on Twitter, need to be more compassionate about these demons, because you can say all you want how much you love him. He'll never believe it. because to him, self-worth is such an important mental thing that a lot of us don't have. A lot of us don't know about our self-worth, because I know when I talk about my sister, you see, this is my sore spot in my life. People used to compare me and my sister a lot, and they used to compare us a lot when we were younger, and I still do it. I still compare myself to her all the time because people used to do it when we were kids all the fucking time. So I'm so used to like people saying, "Oh yeah, you and your sister do this, you and your sister do that." So when I talk about in real life stuff with my mom the other day, I remember I called my mom on Mother's Day, go me, and I was talking about how I think my sister, I think she's too smart to not do this right now. Because my sister, she's a very smart person. She used to go into like all the gate classes and stuff. And I remember telling her how I remember telling my mom how, oh, she should do this because she's smart, and you know it's easier to get a job like that if you're smart. But my sister's being dumb, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know what my sister's going through. I haven't really talked to her. We had a falling out a long time ago after the divorce, so yeah. So we were never close. I always fought with my sister back then, and she was not really there for me during a tough period of my life. So yeah. Anyway, so I compare myself to her all the time, and my mom was like, and I was saying to my mom, "Oh yeah, mom, I'm not that smart, and art is such a gamble, and in real life, you have to really know the right people to get into art or be amazingly talented." And my mom's like, "Don't sell yourself short, you know, you keep talking down about yourself, but art is, you create things. Your sister doesn't do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I create things, but what good are my creations?" I don't know. I always compare myself to other people, and I can't help it. It's something that has been embedded in me since I could remember, and I don't know. It's just really dumb. These feelings I have, it's really fucking dumb, and I don't know. I guess I'm just. It never leaves, these feelings of like self-worth and doubt. That's why I can totally understand Corpse's struggles with his identity online, and his like his fear of losing the community that he's built up for himself from this huge surge of new subscribers and followers, you know. And people who say, "Oh, we'll always be here for Corpse," you can say that, but he'll never believe it. Corpse will never believe in things people online will say about him, because to he feels like this can be gone the next day. This could all be gone all at once, and he'll blame himself for it. And you know, you gotta like go easy on him and just show him compassion. Show him compassion and not pressure him, because if he feels the pressure, it'll make him more uneasy about like still doing this. And be happy with what we have. One day Corpse may not be on the internet anymore, and he'll be focusing fully on music, hopefully. I hope that happens for him. This is a future I hope happens for him when he right now. Like, I hope he still makes music, because he really loves it, and I really enjoy his songs. I listen to all of them, even his covers, even his secret SoundCloud covers. But yeah. So he also is so amazing. He's really funny. He's really such a genuinely good person, and I wish nothing but great things for him. I wish nothing but amazing things for him. And, you know, he's not gonna be. His illness is such a fucking handicap that it's still he struggles with, but he managed to turn it into something wonderful, turn it into something amazing, even before he got into music. And he was able to scare us with his voice back then, and now he just scares his friends with it. And I just want nothing but good things for him, because I do care about Corpse, and I know I'll never know the real him, because how could you? And a couple of my coworkers said something kind of shitty one time. I remember when I talked to them about Corpse, because I can't shut up about Corpse for 2 seconds. And when they asked about him, they're like, how do you know he's not like a pedophile? How do you know he's not this and this? And it's like, I don't know, but at the same time, it's like, I don't get that vibe from him. You know, he doesn't give me that vibe that, like, oh my gosh, that he likes little girls or whatever, blah blah blah. You know, those who actually like, because I'm sure there are people who doubt Corpse's identity. They doubt, oh, he's probably hiding himself because he has something to hide. And it's like, okay, think about this. If you had a situation where you almost fucking died in your teens, and when some fucking assholes found you, like, and you got beaten half to death or had to like get a gun and protect yourself, I'm sure you'd be kind of paranoid about what's going on in the outside world. I don't know. I don't fucking know. You tell me. You tell me how you'd see life after that shit, especially if you're already an anxious person. Sorry, it's just hearing that shit from people who don't like even try to know Corpse through his character. It's like, I don't know. It's stupid. Funny thing about his stream, he was like, he was saying how he wants to be pretty, and it's like, baby, you're beautiful on the inside. You're beautiful on the inside. Doesn't matter how beautiful you are on the outside. Like, people, I heard people were disappointed with Corpse for not being like tall, and it's like, you know, of course he's not tall. But, like, if you know his gene pool, he wasn't. Okay, that's bad. That's bad. I was kidding. That was a bad joke. That was a bad joke. Sorry. Please don't cancel me. That was a bad joke. Sorry, I need to keep the edgy humor off. I forget that people are really sensitive these days. But yeah, people get disappointed with like stupid shit like that, and it's like, okay, what does that matter? Are you gonna meet him in real life? Besides, he could be a short king, you know? Nothing wrong with being 5'10". That's still pretty tall to me. I don't know why people think, like, men who are shorter than 6 feet are, like, not men at all. It's like, why? What's wrong with, like, being shorter than 6 feet? You know? Most girls are lucky if they're fucking 5 feet, like, 7 or some shit. Like, girls are super short. Like, when I say girls judge guys about their height, I'm like, bitch, you lucky if you 5'5". Like, you lucky in your gene pool if you're 5'5". Sure, you get tall girls that exist. Tall girls do exist, and we all know that. And tall girls are just as beautiful. Because people do judge girls who are too tall and that aren't models, you know? Because I'm sure tall girls get, like, flack too, but it's like, when I hear people judge, like, guys on their height, I'm like, who are you to judge? Who are you to judge someone based off of their height? You know? Gosh. Anyways, I feel like I'm messing up. So, as I continue, Corpse is just, people, what I hate about, like, fake fans of Corpse are the people who, like, monetize on every little thing he says. Every little thing. Like, oh, if I had a baby, do-do-do-do-do. Or, oh, my little sister, do-do-do-do-do. It's like they get, like, all weird about like every little information since he's like new now, so they're digging up all the old like streams and all this shit and like clipping every little thing and like making millions of videos on that shit. And then you have people who fucking clickbait a face reveal of Corpse. That shit pisses me off because when people clickbait, let's say, a picture and people like fucking haze the shit out of that picture and it's not even fucking Corpse, because if people know about this, if you watch the first interview between Corpse and Anthony, Corpse explains how there's no physical picture of him on the internet, not currently, and so there's no way there would be a picture of Corpse online. So yeah, you were able to hack into Corpse's phone that isn't on there. So wait, you were able to find, like, dig through all some old retcon shit or some way to find a picture that looks like it came from that looks like it was taken in 2019. Yeah, sure. Anyways, going back to like the fake fans. So it's like they desperately want to like see something from him every second, and I don't know. And then you get the girls who are thirsty. I mean, I guess technically I'm one of them, but I don't know. I feel weird at the idea of like sending pictures to someone, because I've seen this happen on his replies. I've seen girls sending pictures of themselves like very scantily, very inappropriate. Like that one time when I think it was like, is it Phasmophobic or something? That game when he streamed like he said that he's a thigh guy, and as soon as he fucking said that, the internet went crazy, and girls sent him nothing but pictures of their thighs, and it's like, okay, y'all chill. Like, yeah, this man who said how he never goes outside and he doesn't have real people like in real life that he usually goes to talk. Yeah, he's totally going to he's totally going to slide in the DMs and give you his info, and yeah, y'all gonna smash. I don't know, people are silly. People are very silly on the internet. I mean, once in a while I'll message him, but I usually message him like stuff more like, oh my gosh, thank you for everything you've done, or oh my gosh, I love that video you did, you're amazing, or stuff like I think I told him like what was the message? I actually kind of want to find it that I sent him. Let's see. Wonder if I can find it. Hopefully I sent him that. Oh my god, I thought that was fucking funny. Oh, okay, I wonder if I can say this. Seishun shikande arimasu. I forgot how you say this in Japanese. Seishun shikande arimasu. I think that means I have a mental illness. And I think I've also sent him, Watashi wa baka desu. I've sent him that one. I am sorta trying to learn Japanese. Sorta. So, yeah, I do send him stuff, but yeah, it's nothing like weird. It's more like I sent him messages to like show my appreciation for him. Like, I think I can read it. You're an amazing, talented person. Despite life punching you in the face, I will always feel blessed to look up to a great person like you. Or, Corpse, you amazing son of a gun. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourself. We all love you. You know, I sent him stuff like that, and I think I sent him like this funny Death Note meme. that I saw that I thought was pretty fucking funny. It was like it was on Twitter, and I thought it was funny, and I just sent it to him because I thought he'd like it. Who knows if he actually sees it? He probably gets so many messages. I don't blame him if he doesn't. But yeah, girls be crazy for Corpse. I have a coworker who just wants to fuck him. Like, oh god, she just wants to fuck him. It's like I'll talk about like, oh yeah, he's an amazing person, and she's like, I want to ride that D. And I'm like, girl, chill. Like, like you gotta be chill, man. Like. And funny thing, she was like, she even asked me. She asked me. She like knows nothing about anime, mind you, nothing about anime. And she actually asked me like what half of the things meant in E-Girls Are Ruining My Life. She's like, well, what does Saitama mean? And I was like, well, she was like, he said bald like Saitama. What does that mean? Oh, it's this bald guy from One Punch Man. And she was like, oh, and he also said he loves me and he hates me, like, and they call me Gaara. Who's Gaara? And I'm like, he's a very popular character from the very popular anime Naruto. A lot of people stand for him. You know? And it's just funny to me when I see normies like Corpse, because it's like they don't know half of the shit he sings about and they still like him. Like, that's the power of Corpse at. He makes normies like be perplexed and want and like ask things like, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? I think my favorite bar from E-Girls Are Ruining My Life was like, oh god, what was it? She says I kill a pussy like I'm Luca McNaughta. Like, so that shit hit hard. That shit hit hella hard, because if you know who Luca McNaughta is, you know what's funny? I would have not known who Luca McNaughta was if it wasn't for the fact that I had just got done watching Don't Fuck with Cats. Like, I had just gotten done watching that documentary right when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, that was like the perfect timing for me to hear this song. Going back to, you know, this is actually helping me. I'm starting to get Corpse out, you know, talking about him. I'm starting to get tired of talking about him. This is exactly what I needed, guys. I needed to just have a whole stream of talking about Corpse, so I don't have to talk about him ever again on stream. I'll probably still talk about him like other things, but I feel like on stream I'm kind of getting Corpse out, not gonna lie. Never. I would never get Corpse out. That's a lie. Never. Never in my life. We'll be tired of Corpse. Now, some people always say, okay, but what if he gets canceled one day? Well, here's my thing. Is he canceled right now? No. And even if, like, something were to come up where there's, like, two sides of the story, I would love to hear both sides before I make any judgments, because that's kind of what I had to do. Because trust me, I've been obsessed with people before. You think this is my first rodeo? I used to be a Leafy is Here fan. I used to listen to Leafy is Here all the time. I thought, oh, I love his sense of humor, and I think he's a funny dude. But then, you know, the iDubbbz video dropped, and he kind of like, his response was kind of shit. And then allegations came out where he was using other smaller YouTubers to create his content, and that was not cool. And people were like coming out and saying, yeah, he used this without getting my permission, and da-da-da-da-da. And then after that, he kind of disappeared from the internet after that. So yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, you gotta not live in fear. That's my thing. I know it's funny coming from a Corpse fan, knowing he's agoraphobic, and the whole thing is he's scared of going outside because he's scared. But here's the thing. If you live your life in fear all the fucking time, you're not really living. And for me, it's like, if you're just going to be scared that Corpse is going to get canceled one day, then don't follow him. Don't ever follow him. But, you know? But there's also a time where he doesn't have to get canceled. I know people try to cancel him over that stupid, like, thing where he said, like, the D word, because... And here's my thing with that one. He should have never have gotten even close to canceled to that shit. Because you want to know why? He apologized. That's the thing that was amazing to me. Corpse is so nice that he felt bad and he apologized right away. People like gave him shit for apologizing. And when people give him shit for apologizing, I was like, don't give him shit for apologizing. He feels bad that he even offended anyone. Because here's the thing. Corpse is actually shy. I think you guys forget that he's an introvert. He's an introvert that gets extroverted when he's surrounded by people he knows or people he gets to know. And because the thing is, introverts, it's easier for us to talk when we don't like have a face to talk to. I'm sure Corpse would like, oh gosh. I mean, I think proof is enough with that bank teller story. Poor guy. Corpse is definitely so people don't understand that when you're introverted, you have high anxiety and you've been through traumatic experiences. All three of those things are like a huge factor into like how you perceive the world after that. And Corpse is probably timid and did not want any drama based off of like that, based off of the D word fiasco that happened months ago, because he did use that word. And I guess to some people that is a huge like thing against male transgenders and people in the lesbian community. And it's like, yeah, that is a bad word to them. But here's the thing. It's like he was using the word in the same context as to people using the N-word when you read Huckleberry Finn. You know, it's that same context. Or when Leonardo DiCaprio had to say the N-word for the movie Django? That's hard to say that name. Django. Yeah. Because I remember, like, he was struggling with saying that word, but, like, Samuel Jackson and Jamie Foxx had to, like, sit down and tell him, like, you have to say this word to prove to us, to show what it was like back then, that it would be worse if you didn't say it, you know? And that's how he got over that, so he could say it for the movie. So yeah, it's like, you know, so Corpse, like, censoring that word for that story or even deleting it kind of hurts me, because it's like, it was probably a really good story, because he got that story from a viewer who went through that. I don't really know that many biracial people like me. Like, when I heard Corpse is also biracial, that's also what made me be like, oh my god, that's so cool. You know the feels. You know what's very, like, live that lifestyle. Unfortunate. Man. But it happens. It does. Man, when did this turn into a stream about me talking about my family? Holy fuck. I think I was talking about, like, mixed races, and then it just delved into, like, my family life, and, god, baggage. Love having baggage on stream, guys. Going back to Corpse Husband. People need to be easier on him. People need to chill. And you know what I notice in his streams? People who say, oh, I don't have a lot of money, but here's $50. Okay, you had enough money to give him $50. Don't tell him that. Like, I think they say that because they want that reaction from him. They want the reaction of him saying, oh, don't spend your money on me. They want to see that reaction of Corpse freaking out over someone being poor. You gotta remember, Corpse used to be poor, dude. Corpse used to, like, not have a lot of money, so he knows like the value of money. He really does. So when people like say that shit, he's like, no, don't do that, please don't do that. So don't get me wrong, I give him money too, under a different alias, different like YouTube altogether. Y'all will never find this YouTube account ever, because I'll never say the name of it. I won't speak of it because it's fucking cringe as fuck. So don't even try. Anyway, all I do is like say things like, "Oh, we love you," or "Oh, don't push yourself," or "Oh, you're such a huge inspiration." I say shit like that, you know, when I do give him my money, because I like showing my support to my favorite guys. Be my favorite guy. I'm glad Corpse is popular because he's a role model I think guys want to be now. And I think more guys need to be like Corpse, who is genuinely nice and stuff. But you know what's weird? Here's the weirdest thing that people think. Because people think... I remember, like, one of my coworkers telling me about, like, this person that sounded like Corpse. And I was like, okay, and? They were like, yeah, don't you like that? I'm like, no, I don't. I like Corpse because he's funny. I like Corpse because of his personality. I like Corpse because he's a weeb, dork, woo-woo boy. I like Corpse because he can be a wholesome gremlin. I like Corpse because he has such wholesome relationships with people and such toxic relationships with the best people. I say that in a good way. I say toxic relationship in a good way. You know, I really care about him for those aspects of him. So that's why when people like sexualize Corpse, I get weird. It weirds me out when people sexualize Corpse in public, because it's like, that's weird. That's weird that you're doing that. It's weird that you're like doing that to this guy you don't know in real life. Like, yeah, I can say I have a crush on Corpse and I care about him, but saying that, oh my god, I want to fuck Corpse, it's like, that's kind of weird, you know? That's very odd that you say that. Very odd that you say that. And all right, and let's delve into like people who ship Corpse with like Saikuno. Okay, I never go to Pixie IV, Corpse. Let me just say that right now. Never go to Pixie IV, and do not search your name. Oh, I'm not saying that Corpse is gonna watch this ever, but just like, don't go to Pixie IV, please. Don't. Oh my god, don't go. I only say this because, well, I saw a cursed image I can't unsee. It's still fresh in my brain, and I'm so... Ugh, God. It was so bad. It was so bad. It looked good. It was a very pretty art style, but oh my god, it was bad. Ugh, God. Because Pixie IV, if you guys don't know, is a superior version of Twitter for sharing your art, mind you. Only problem is it's Japanese, and most of the users are Japanese. So you'll probably most likely not find anyone with the language. There's some people, some American people, not American, some English-speaking people who do use it to share their art, because it's superior to Twitter, it's superior to Tumblr, it's superior to DeviantArt, it's superior to all those fucking fake-ass art accounts who do not believe the freedom in fucking art. But here's the problem with the freedom of art, though. You'll sometimes get cursed images like I saw on there. And holy fuck. You look up I wonder if it's still there. I'm kind of curious now. Okay. I'm about to curse my eyes again. Oh god. What I do for people. Okay. Oh, that's a pretty one. Wow, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. There's so much time. What do you mean? No! Why did I click it? I should have known! never go. Oh my god. My face is red. Oh, I can't believe that. Oh my fucking god. What is wrong with you people? Oh, yep, it's still there. It's still fucking there. The fuck is wrong with people? The fuck? Okay, I'm done. I'm done looking at Pixie IV. Oh my god. Oh! Ah! Ah, it's like the Fortron, but for art. Oh god. Fuck, dude. Fuck. Oh my god. My brain. Sorry, my brain is like, what did I just fucking see? What did I just fucking see? Corpse, I know you're never watching this, but in the off chance, and a super serious off chance you ever see this, never, ever, ever go to Pixie IV and never, ever search up your name. Like, you can go on there and search up, like, other things, but don't ever go to Pixie IV. Don't. Sorry. I was not expecting to see that one. I'm kind of freaking out now that that's a thing. My brain right now is like, what the fuck did I just watch? What the fuck did I witness? I feel like I need to go to a Catholic house and, like, confess my sins. Father, I saw a cursed image of Corpse Husband, and I don't know how to unsee it. So maybe freedom for artists isn't, like, maybe we don't exactly need it. We don't need a lot of it, at least, because sometimes, as much as I love Pixie IV for the freedom it has for its art, it sometimes does have cursed images like that for, like, things. Like, let me just say, if you're not ready to see people thirsting and explicit images, then keep your eyes away from that shit, because it is everywhere. It is everywhere. I still can't believe that happened. I can't believe I actually saw that. Oh my god. I'm still reeling in from that. Like, oh, I almost want to puke. So here's my thing, actually. So I was talking about shipping Corpse and Saikuno. I don't approve of shipping real people. I mean, if you do, whatever, that's your life. But to me, it's just a weird thing to do with real people, because you don't know, you don't know how they'll feel about that kind of thing. It's a weird thing to do, because Corpse and Saikuno have both said how they are straight. And just because they joke around and, like, maybe give food to their fans, it doesn't mean that they appreciate, like, drawings like that are on there of them, I'm sure. Because, oh god, it's so cringe. Oh fuck, no! I did something wrong. I missed something. Anyway, so I don't agree with it, only because I've seen it happen before. Because, again, I was in the Smosh fandom in the early days of Smosh, and I was in the Dan and Phil fandom, and people ship them too. Like if y'all who were here's the story of the old tale when Smosh wasn't like SNL. When Smosh was, had Anthony and Ian back then. People shipped the fuck out of Anthony and Ian back then. Holy fuck. And they would get sent fan art all the time of them together. It was insane. And they would actually, like, they would play along once in a while. They would play along. And they even kissed on camera for the first time when they did, like, this weird video where kissing was a currency. And they kissed. It was fucking weird seeing that. It was fucking hella weird seeing that, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, don't do. Just don't do.
But yeah, when people ship Corpse and Sykkuno together, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies because they did it to Anthony. I didn't like it. They did it to Dan and Phil, and I didn't like it. Especially after they both, came out. It especially felt weird after that because it's like, wow, they both came out, so that now that's extra creepy that y'all used to do that, and it's dumb. It's a dumb thing that people on the internet do, and it's just I don't know. I guess I'm just tired of seeing it because it's like it's so insensitive to real people. Because at the end of the day, Corpse and Sykkuno, they're real people, and I think people forget that sometimes. Like they're real people with real feelings. And what if Corpse did? Not saying he will anytime soon. He has gone on the record saying how much he does not care to be in a relationship ever again, which we all should definitely respect and not stop thirsting for. Like I can admit that I have a crush on the guy, but I know my chances are slim and nothing is ever coming out of that because he has such like bad has had such a horrible experience with relationships that I totally get why he doesn't want to be in another one. It's understandable, and I would not forever force anyone to do something. And it's the same with like people who insist that Valkyrie and Corpse are a thing or Tina and Corpse are a thing. It's like, oh shit. Like, just leave these people alone. Like, even if they were a thing, is that really any of your business? Like, is it any of your business, like, who Corpse goes out with? No, it's not. Like, some people who share their relationships online, I don't judge them. That is your line in the sand. If you aren't comfortable with sharing your relationship online, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But some people have boundaries, and Corpse obviously does. And he's gone on the record again to say how he never wants to be in a relationship ever again. And even if he was on a relationship, do you think he would like share it to the world? Probably not. He didn't share any of his.
Like, this is what people don't get. Corpse was in a relationship back in his like storytime days. He was, but he never talked about it. There was never a point where he talked about being in a relationship with
any of his girlfriends at the time. His girlfriend even helped him choose his name, Corpse Husband, back then. So it's like these people who go on saying, "Oh, he needs to share his life with us." Blah, 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 blah. It's like he owes you shit. He doesn't owe you anything. He does not need to tell you shit about his personal life. So it's big of you to think that he does. Very big of you to think he does. Yes. I think, you know,
we gotta remember that I think people are even more vicious towards Corpse because of his anonymity. I can't say big words right now. I've been talking over 2 hours. Um, they forget that he's human and they like go on about him, and it's like, I don't know, leave him alone, leave him be. He a wholesome gremlin. He not hurting nobody. Shit, but I hope Corpse does find like one day he'll realize, you know, he is worth something. That he won't let what happened to him in his past drag him down and make him feel a certain way. Because, you know, he really is an amazing person that I want to see him go so far because I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of like all the achievements that he's done and how like humble he is. He's so humble, he's so genuine, he's so real, he doesn't bullshit, and that's so refreshing to see from someone. He doesn't care about like being macho, he doesn't care about being the best. He fucks around, he's serious, you know, and he can get angry. I mean, I think the bang on table thing has become kind of a meme now.
Corpse bangs on a table. We love this man. We stand him hard. I want nothing but great things for him. And I want people to understand one day that what he has is real. And I love how people still think his voice is fake. It's like, I think Corpse said so himself. Like, it'd be impressive if he's able to fake this voice for as long as he has. That'd be fucking hard. I cannot imagine trying to fake Corpse's voice for that long. Here, let me try talking like Corpse for like a second. Like, it's not gonna be good. I'm telling you right now. This is not gonna be good. I can't. Oh god, it's really hard. I can't. Oh gosh, this is really hard. Because he's like high pitched and like deep at the same time. It's fucking hard, dude. Okay, I can't imagine talking like Corpse for this long, because you have to kind of get out of that mindset of talking like him, and if you don't really concentrate on it, you can't get that deep. I can't do it. I've been talking for 2 hours. I can't do it. See? That's fucking hard. That's fucking hard. And the fact that if he was able to fake that shit, give him an award. I'd be more impressed if he faked it than his actual voice. Honestly. Fuck, dude. I can't even imagine. Going in, and holy fuck, I'm not realizing what it looks like on stream. What the actual hell? Sorry. I did not even realize it looked like that on stream. Here. Oh my god. What the hell? Why is it doing that? The fuck? Okay, I don't know. Something going on with my Twitch. Okay. Well, that's Corpse, I guess. Hope you guys like this, and I feel like I got it out of my system. I actually do feel like I could talk about other things now, because I'm kind of getting tired of talking about Corpse, not gonna lie. I mean, I talked about him for a good 2 hours, give or take. But, yeah. Thank you so much for joining, everyone, and I hope you have a great day. Until next time.
Fucking drop what I want.